Down to 4. Oh my gosh, up to 6. He's holding on. There's a Nissa.
We will not fail.
Wow. Talk about flooding the field. I didn't know Force grew this quickly. That's it though, boys. Get the land. Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for taking the time to watch Hello Good Game. If you find any value within this video, please give me a thumbs up and share the channel out to a friend. We're playing free-to-play, rotation-proof, mono black devotion. This may be not the most powerful free-to-play deck around, but I think it's totally viable, especially within the lower ranks. You know, if you're in silver, you're in gold, and even probably working your way through platinum, I think this is a totally viable deck and should help you win the majority of your games. I'm playing matches in diamonds. We don't have a great win rate, but we are winning matches, right? So that is the key component. As always, we take a look at the deck list in its entirety, break down each individual card, then we're talking about the deck tech, the strategies, the synergies, what's all involved, how do those cards work together. Then we're going to look at some gameplay footage, breaking down the core set 2021 meta playlines and interactions between our deck and the rest of the environments, right? So the other decks around it. Finally, we have my closing thoughts where we're going to talk about upgrade guides to the deck, right? Because this does have 0 rares and 0 mythics. So it is a very cheap, beginner-friendly, free-to-play deck that is, you know, a good base that you can go ahead and upgrade into a more competitive, consistent version. Let's get right into it. Mono Black Devotion really focuses around Grey Merchant of Asphodel. This is a 2/4 zombie, and when it enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion to black, and then you gain life equal to the amount of life lost this way. So this is, you know, an absolute bomb. It does cost 5, so we need to curve into it really nicely. It's a little bit more high-end than we're used to. But regardless, a very great creature, and it comes out with 2 black, so immediately already you'll, even if with nothing, be dealing 2 damage and gaining 2 life with him when he enters. So, anywho, now that you know what the deck kind of surrounds around, that kind of sounds weird. Archfiend's Vessel. This is a 1/1 with lifelink. It's our first 1-drop. When it enters the battlefield, if it entered from your graveyard, or if you cast it from your graveyard, if you do, you're going to create a 5/5 black demon creature token with flying. We also have 4 copies of Foulmire Knight. This is a 1/1 with Death Touch. We can cast Profane Insight for 3. This is an instant speed adventure. You draw a card and lose 1 life. 4 copies of Serrated Scorpion, a 1/2, and when it dies, you deal 2 damage to each opponent, and you gain 2 life. Onto our 2 drops, 3 copies of Tymaret, Chosen from Death, a 2x, where his toughness is equal to your devotion to black. So again, it's entering as a 2 devotion black spell, so it's at least going to be a 2/2. We can also pay 2 to exile up to 2 target cards from graveyards. You gain 1 life for each creature card exiled this way. Mire Triton. This is a 2/1 with Death Touch. When it enters the battlefield, you mill 2 cards and gain 2 life. So that's all our 2 drops. On to our 3 drops now. 3 copies of Call of the Death Dweller. Sorcery speed. Return up to 2 target creatures with total converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Put a Death Touch counter on either of them, and then a Menace counter on either of them as well. Grimdancer, a 3/3 Nightmare. When it enters the battlefield, choose from 3 counters among Menace, Death Touch, and Lifelink. You get to pick 2 of them to put them on the Grimdancer, which is nice. Underworld Dreams ×3 enchantment. Whenever an opponent draws cards, Underworld Dreams deals 1 damage to that player. Drag to the Underworld ×4 instant speed. It does cost X less to cast, where X is your devotion to black, so not always costing 4, which is great. We can get that down to as cheap as 2, and we get to destroy target creature, which is great. We also have our Grey Merchant, which we already talked about for 5/4 when it enters the battlefield, dealing X damage equal to your devotion to black, and then you're going to gain that much life as well. So we have 20 swamps and 3 Witch's Cottage. Witch's Cottage enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 3 or more swamps, and when it does enter the battlefield untapped, you may put a target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library, and then of course it is just a black mana source as well. No sideboard today. All of our our free-to-play rotation decks are best of 1. Best of 3 with these bad boys would be ridiculous. You know, and we've been banging out this free-to-play rotation-proof content, you guys. If black isn't your style, check out the playlist. We've got literally everything going on for you guys. Lots of competitive, rotation-proof, free-to-play decks for beginners to Magic the Gathering Arena. So tell your friends that we've got them covered. So that's the deck list. Let's break down some of the strategies and synergies, different interactions involved within the deck. So we talked about how we're going to be doing massive damage through our Grey Merchant, right? So the closer we can get our opponents to 0 before we play Grey Merchant, the higher chance that his hits or his entering the battlefield will result in your win. It's hard to get to 20 devotion, don't get me wrong. It's not so hard to get to 8, to get to 10, right? So if you can do chip damage off the start, that's really going to increase his usefulness when he does enter the battlefield to close out those games. So Grey Merchant for 5, try to get your opponent as close to 10 as possible. Before that, below 10 is even better. So this is done with, you know, a myriad of ways. Serrated Scorpion, right? Dealing 2 damage when it dies, gaining 2 life. So that's really nice chip damage. You can play it for 1. Maybe it gets a 1 attack in only, and then it dies next turn. You've done 3 damage with a single Serrated Scorpion. You only need to do maybe 7 more. So that's really, really nice. We have the ability to be gifted Menace on our Grimdancer, which can get around blockers really nice. So we're talking more chip damage there. And most of our creatures have Death Touch, right? Our Foulmire Knight, our Mire Triton, our Grimdancer as well. So our opponent is less inclined to block creatures with Death Touch because he doesn't want to lose his creatures. So he's going to take that damage, which is increasing your chip damage and reducing the workload of your Grey Merchant later on. So get that Serrated Scorpion out, get those Death Touch creatures out, attack your opponent, get that early damage in play. Mid-game, Underworld Dreams. Now whenever they draw a card, they're being dealt damage. So we're going from maybe getting him from that 15 mark, 13, 12 potentially, right? We get some more Death Touch in. Now he's down to 10. We've stacked our Devotion as high as 5, 6. Grey Merchant enters, increasing it by 2. We're dealing, you know, 8 to 10 more damage potentially. And then just a few more turns of Underworld Dreams, he's dead. So the chip damage is a really key to this deck. Having your opponent not really determining your Devotion as a threat is also kind of a key, right? If they know you're stacking Devotion, they're more inclined to block and just deal with your Death Touch attackers right away. Whereas if they don't really know, then you can you know, get that Death Touch chip damage in like we talked about because they don't want to block. And then boom, you switch, you drop your Grey Merchant, and it all goes downhill from there, right? So that's why the deck is best in best of 1, because your opponent doesn't really have much of an opportunity to realize what you're doing and then counter act it or try to mitigate your game plan. So best of 1, this deck really shines. I think it's great. Like, I don't have too many problems with this deck. The only problem I have potentially is not getting Grey Merchant in our hand right away. But again, that's kind of how these things go. There's not a lot of removal in the deck, so it's hard to keep the lanes clear rather than just hitting with your Death Touch. We just have the 4 removal spells and then are relying on Death Touch to remove everything else. But again, right, other than that, we do have our Call of the Deathlord to talk about. Primarily, it's here to bring back our Archfiend Vessel. When you do so, it's going to become a 5/5 with flying, which, again, if you're trying to get a little bit of damage in and your opponent doesn't have reach or flying, you probably took him from 15 right down to 10 immediately without Underworld Dreams, or, you know, maybe from 12 to 8, something like this. I guess it would be 7, right? But just really trying to get as much damage as you can early on to lighten the load of the Grey Merchant. You see him, he's got those bags up there. Look at how heavy that guy has been doing this lifting. So let's try to help him out. Teamwork makes the dream work, so to say. So I think that's really all I can explain with this deck is stack Devotion, chip damage, Grey Merchant, Witch's Cottage, Grey Merchant to the graveyard, bring it back if you couldn't get it the first time, right? So I hope you have a fairly good grasp on how the deck works. We're going to get into some gameplay footage now to see it work within the Core Set 2021 meta. But before we do, I remind you I'm on YouTube every morning, 6 a.m. Mountain Standard. At 7 a.m. we switch over to Twitch, and then back at 6 p.m. all Mountain Standard we're live on YouTube again in the Discord all day. Links for everything in the description below. We have a 500,000 gem giveaway triggering at 10k subs. We're getting close. Tell your friends, they do not want to miss out on this stuff, right? So you have to just subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, and then at 10k, we're going to be doing a big party, giving away a ton of gems. So do not miss out, you guys. And a big shout out to our Patreon supporters, our Twitch supporters, and our YouTube supporters, financially making this all possible for you guys as a community. So, you know, not only a huge gratitude from me for funding my business, but the community really thanks you as well for making us the greatest Magic the Gathering Arena community a single streamer is doing. I probably shouldn't say that. I don't know. It's a good one, though. We're doing great. Come say hello. I'm looking forward to talking to you. Let's get into today's gameplay footage. Don't forget to watch to the end so you don't miss out on my upgrade guide, final thoughts, all that great propaganda. Enjoy. All right, guys. I want to start out with a little bit of insider information. I don't believe in this deck. That could be its downfall. If you believe in this deck, you're probably going to have better results than me. It's not a bad deck. I don't know. I really enjoy, for example, say the Mutate deck that we did the other day. I can consistently win with this deck. But when we get into a little bit of these, I don't want to call them more basic, but more straightforward game plans. Not that the Mutate deck isn't straightforward, but it has that really in-depth ability of cycling your instances and sorceries back and never losing them. We don't really have anything like that here. Nothing that's abusable. So not only was that abusable within the Mutate deck, but then the Sterix free casting your library is also super abusable. Here, our only hope is to stack Devotion and try to top deck a Gary, right? Or a Grey Merchant. So it's a thing, right? He can play this, which is a bummer. So we basically need instant removal, which we don't get. Menace Death Touch is nice. We have lots of life. Mire Triton can swipe in. I mean, we're stacking Devotion, right? Exactly like we said. Even though not really suppressing our opponents as much as we'd like, we are still stacking, kind of saving those draw effects to make sure we can pull our Grey Merchant. Our opponent started out the game with an illegal play, a couple of them, multiple rares. So he's at a -3, right? So for each rare, the opponent should have to pay 1 life. Oh, Mythic, he had to pay 3 life for that one. What we need is some reach. Reach would be beneficial. We're gonna need a little bit of life here to become apparent. So lifelink, Menace. So the Trident with the Gutter Bones, I guess, makes sense. And then he just takes the other 3. Removing 1 Devotion. Kind of sucks. Could be worse. He's down to 13. We're at 19. Can we top deck some merchants, baby? A second spawn? Oh, no. Maybe an itsy bitsy, a little bit of removal could help. We don't have a lot of it because of all of the Death Touch, right? It's for 4, might hit us for 5. Running the numbers, right? We do have the Menace attacker, right? Both of them. So it can't really block there. These are hot hits. Wait for 5, 6, 7. That's game, right? Down to 7. And the merchant hits for 7. Those are the top decks we're looking for in this deck, baby. So, still extremely powerful, and we won a lot quicker than the Mutate deck, but it concerns me about how frequently we're going to need to pull Grey Merchant to win. But similar, we kind of need to pull the Sterix to win, even though I guess the Shore Shark is great in that other deck as well. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It's in the playlist. Free to play. Alright, keeping 7. 3 land, pretty cool. 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop. Probably 2 or 3 drop again. And, you know, the Widget Cottage could be pretty cool, you know. We don't get to cast it from our library, but we get to, you know, remove it. Gingerbroot's great. So probably Tempo Blue. Oh, artifacts. Interesting. A little bit of Death Touch doesn't hurt, does it? Land and a vessel gone. I'm down to clown. So, probably need to nuke that Overseer. I'm interested in what else he does this turn, though. Casket on our Triton? Interesting. The Serpent. That's alright. We gotta kill this Overseer. Merchant in hand. Kill it before it untaps. No attacks. Dreams, then Merchant. Crystalline Giant. That's pretty good. He's laying down heat here. Very much so. Hits Menace, too. Good lord. Get Dreams in play. I guess we could have taken our Vessel, but... So we don't have our Devotion stacked. This is kind of the bad part here. Oh, nice. Big ouchies there, boys. Oh, and Flying Menace plus Flying? Makes sense. Down to 8. Ay, caramba. This could... No, it can't. It can just attack right through. So we'll do like 6 damage here, down to 10. Then we're gonna block with it. Bring it back with our Cottage. I think, right? We'll try our best. This is a hard matchup to win, but we're gonna try. P has another All That Glitters. We can just start crying now. Deploy. Stop it. Oh, these are big hits. And we don't get the opportunity to sack ourselves. Super duper dead here. 2 land gone. He's got nothing to kill the merchant, so to bring it back won't work. Sad days ahead. Right, I guess our vessel. If we could have survived somehow one more turn. But, no, we get close, and it's actually a pretty good matchup. If we could have removed our merchant and then brought him back without having to take this 9 damage. Right, it's the fact that he's unblockable. Normally, we can kind of pick up those defenders with our Death Touch Mire Triton, but not in this guy's case. Not a bad hand if we can land out. Try and spend our mana every turn. Just stacking our devotion for now. Death Touch is great against green, right? It's got a lot of creatures. You could have a Questing Beast next turn, which burns. We're dropping 4, close to 5. He's in tapped, which is nice. And then a Grazer. Interesting. A little bit of a ramp off here. That's huge devotion gains here. Right? This is so good. We get chip damage in through the Foulmire Knight. Loving it. Right, he's already down to 15. And we drop our merchant for 9 if we draw land. Interesting, so a little bit of a mutate going on here. We need to win before Sterix makes a mess of the field. Let's get more chip damage in. Why not? Down to 10. That's lethal if we pull a land. Beyond lethal. Let's see what the Sterix can do. I wonder if it can keep us from drawing a land. The Henge! Woo! Okay, now we're talking. That's a nice draw engine. Life gain as well. Mana ramp. It's doing it all. It's not land. Watch us mill land here. 2 land right off the top, I bet. No, no, okay, cool. Non-lands. And again, just swing in with our Death Touch. At a certain point, I mean, you can't just take the damage, right? That's perfect. They both die. Winning this match without our Grey Merchant. Ooh. Have I spoken too soon, ladies and gentlemen? This Underworld Dreams could save us. Just for the fact that he can't draw too much. Interesting. Oh! Beast in play. Taking more damage, though. Okay, okay, he's making a move. You can attack. We're down to 15. Shoot, that's not a land either. We need something to block that beast with. Let's go full out aggro. We don't need life. And we're still just, you know, slamming in with our Death Touch barrage. 4 damage, unmitigated, unless he's losing these key components. He takes it, right? And then he draws down to 3, plays a creature down to 2, but then he gains 2 life back up to 4. We really just need a land. We have, like, you know, 2 nuclear missiles just sitting in our arsenal here. These guys are unlimited mana. I'm, like, literally worried. Does he have lethal here? I think he does. It's close. It's... Woof. All because we couldn't pull land. Another henge on top of the henge. Just for a little bit more life gain, I guess. I would have done anything else before that. Interesting. Okay, Paradise Druid. He's gaining so much land here. Look at this mana he's got available to him here. This is ridiculous. Okay. You have my attention, sir. Nice. We just missed our land drop, or we would have already won. It appears we will have one more turn. Maybe not. He's going even harder. Down to 4. Oh my gosh, up to 6. He's holding on. There's a Nissa.
We will not fail.
Wow. Talk about flooding the field. I didn't know Force grew this quickly. That's it though, boys. Get the land. Yeah. The goose is tapped so he can't make the food. I'm not sure exactly what the proliferation does. Be cool if it proliferated his life. We don't go first. We're low on land, but, you know, it could work. We can curve into 3. Ooh. Mono red's never an easy win. Yikes. I thought he was going to fervent champion us. Death Touch is really nice for the robber. Getting that life back. We lose a land, though. So just trying to put up these walls. Death Touch lifelink. Menace lifelink? Death Touch lifelink. Nice. Oof. That's good for him. Okay. I feel a little bit more comfortable with life gain on the field. Let's just keep stacking, try to pull that Gary, or Gray Merchant. I think the community as a whole calls him Gary for some reason. Gary the Gray Merchant. Okay, the 4/3's nice. Activates his Embercleave. This is instant speed though. So let's hold 2 mana up. Stacking our devotion, we have instant speed removal on whatever he tries to cleave. Just trying to top deck something cool. Playing our Underworld Dreams doesn't really help us so much, but he's thinking about it. All right. Let's get the Vessel in the graveyard to bring back. And let's see where this Embercleave lands. Alright. Sucks, but we're not losing our Grimdancer. He'll have to stomp us again to get it. Let's take that draw. Scorpion. Let's keep it concealed for now. Grab that life gain. Up to 20. At very least, we're holding our own, taking him out of that early game, now into the mid part of the game. Oh, he's definitely got a cleave. 1, 2, yeah, shoot. Getting hit for 10 if he's got a cleave. I think he's got it, but we still have to call him on it, right? Yeah. So he'll kill this first. And then have still 7 damage. Which we can't block anyways. Up to 14, down to 4 at the very best. Actually down to 2. Good game. mean, I guess we could have survived barely, but there's just no coming back from that. Just let him have it. Going first is cool. 2 lands not great. 2 merchants isn't great unless we can ramp right to 5. I shouldn't say ramp, curve right to 5. Maybe that's more appropriate. Call of the Death Dweller would be a really good top deck here after a land as well. Definitely need the 3rd land. Oof. Probably takes our Underworld Dreams. He wants that Great Merchant. He knows how valuable it is, though, too, right? But then, curving out... Yeah. That's funny. Well, it's hard. Without these lands, the deck really stutters, and we're being wild out on. 3rd land's nice. Again, we need 2 more immediately off the top if we have any semblance of hope to not only survive, but maybe win. Taking 2 chip damage a turn could be beneficial to us. We're held up on the trigger here. That ping is good. Oh, look at him chase his tail. I've never seen that one before. I like that. Rankle with haste. Nice. Mythic, a rare. So, our opponent's dropping fire on us. And we're going to have to discard our last gray from Rankle next turn. Nice. I mean, these are how free-to-play decks go sometimes, right? We're getting bullied by our own upgraded version. Mayhem is just an amazing upgrade card for this deck. Rankle as well. Both have high devotions and huge, you know, battlefield presences. All right. Down to 2. We'll take chip damage from the spawn, and then Rankle can deal an additional damage here. He chooses not to. Good game. Just pass our turn, let him clean up. That's my new thing, I think, is just to let them go, right? Have your kill. You know, hockey teams don't give up with 2 minutes left. Just, okay, you win. Or sports teams in general, right? They play it out, and, you know, if anything, they're pulling the goalie for more attackers. Again, I'm from Canada, so all I know is hockey. This hand looks a lot better. 3 lands. Our Death Dweller in right away. Our opponent gives us an immediate good game. Oh, come on. The one time we get a good hand. Alright, we're going first. Oh, Lord. We might draw, potentially. Depending on what's going on in our opponent's board state. So we play the Scorpion first. He's straight chilling. Oh no, not mono red. This player 2-drop, still trying to hold up this draw in our hand potentially. Serrated Scorpion shuts down his Fervent Champion. Of course we mill 2 land. No attacks. Right, it would allow him to play a land, his Fervent Champion attack, and then use Light Up the Stage, which would be not so nice for us. So we're gonna force him to pull out that that other shock or something. Oof, Robber of the Rich, great. Where is the land, Bill? This happened to us before. We may need to adjust these levels, right? We're being maybe a little greedy with our cards, and, you know, another land doesn't hurt. It could be a reoccurring theme. Let me know in the comments below. How's the land working out for you in this deck? Okay, he's wiling. And we missed a land drop. That's not good. 2 more. 2 more. 2 more lands. Without an Embercleave, please. Keep in mind, we did mill 2 off the top. We could be guaranteed to get it. But still, I think he probably just has the kill. No? Okay, we're safe this turn. Unless he... Yeah, no, we're safe. Getting hit for 5 is not pleasant. Here's his stage. Here's his champion. And a land. Ouch. Okay. No land. A little bit of life gain could help us get there. Still need 2 land though, so... Ouch. One Embercleave, please. Is it over yet? Oh, you can feel it. Alright, this is still a match somehow. Play a swamp that taps for 2 2 mountains, I guess. I don't know. Just start crying. I was going to Infuriate too. Good game. It's a tough life out here today. The first strike damage will kill us, so you won't really get to flex all of his damage. Right, it ends the game once you're dead. This is why I like to let them go. Right, just spool up a little bit. Oh, and he just shocks for fun, doesn't even attack. Dirty dog. 3 land. Blessed be thy hand. No! Immediate removal in play. You know, we took a look at Hateful Eidolon already. Just such an amazing card. 2 of them. And he now does the dead weight on us for a double draw. Oh yeah. Takes 2 damage, draws 2 cards. And, you know, that value train is en route. Choo-choo! All aboard. We mill our Grey Merchant. The one time we're going to have land for it. So we're looking for our Witch's Cottage to pull it from our grave back to the top. Just drawing those cards. He gets the most ideal draw hand with an ideal matchup for him as well, so it's very nice. He's playing totally free to... Well, it's a rare, bro. You're cheating. You know, I'm not really worried about the damage he's doing, so we're gonna go Death Touch Menace. This Underworld Dreams might get him going a little bit. Look at all the draw engine, Bill. Straight up murders G. Alright, gains that life back. Eating our hand is the thing. We're top decking pretty nice amounts of flame, though. Again, Death Touch Menace. Not really concerned about our life. Still 20. If we can burn this guy's hand out, which seems impossible with 3 Eidolons. As long as there's no auras, we should be okay. He's making zombies, which is good. Alright, we're ready for a Great Merchant. Nice blocker. Let's get some threat out in case he's like, well, I'm gonna just draw a bunch of cards. He's still at 20 though. That's gonna be really weird. And then Dreadhorde Invasion is gonna gain him life eventually. Yikes. Okay, 4-2, nice, with flying, lifelink, trample. Very good. Woof. We need to remove that. And it makes zombies. Illegal rare. Where is Grey Merchant? So we might carry a little bit about life gain now. Gaining some life, baby. Yeah. He's gonna hit us for 4 each turn. Sucks. He's at 23. Grasp for a triple draw. Wow. I mean, we do 3 damage, but a triple draw. I'm sure he can do it to the other one as well. Oh my lord. Stop it. It's like we're being bullied by other mono black decks of a superior upgrade today, right? Is that a reoccurring theme here? I don't really care for it. Much better, senors. Let's toss the cottage for now. Oh no. Oh no. Alright, let's see if we can burn this hand out. As long as there's not an annex. Steamkin. Okay. Not quite as bad, but still very awful. Hopefully he cleaves before we block. Right, he's gonna cleave onto the Steamkin. I know you want to do it, bro. Oh, yes you do. Yes you do. Really? Okay, we'll knock that out of the park then. I thought he would have went Steamkin. We're not blocking, let's just take the hit. Well, we actually probably should have. And then, bro. No, we only get to bring 2 as well. Oh no. Be cool to take this back. Let's grab some life, try to mitigate his massive amounts of damage next turn. Hitting us for 12. At least. Brody. Let's just mitigate as much damage as possible. If only we had like a massive amount of vessels. Or like something to remove Annex when it entered. They both go on the Scorpion because the vessel gets sacrificed. There's 14 damage. Right there. Good game, man. We're getting bullied. But, you know, we're getting smashed by rares again. Empress, Steamkin, Cleave, a Robber, so... Big yikesies. 9, 10, 11 damage here. We gain 2. We're just so far behind. There's no way. Like, even if we had an extinction event, which we don't, it's hard to pick these up. Even and odd, right? Up to 7, down to like minus 30. Just letting him have it. Woof. Alrighty, final thoughts. Deck's alright. Maybe not the most powerful free-to-play deck. It's hard to abuse Grey Merchant. There's only 4 copies. But when we look at upgrading this deck, it gets a lot stronger. Knight of the Ebon Legion, Castle Lochthwain, Rankle, Spawn of Mayhem, right? There are so many good cards that we can like weave into this deck. Like they're unnameable. Let's go in and just take a quick look for you guys because I know there's more than that. We talked about Castle Lochthwain. We talked about Knight of the Ebon Legion, both being really, really, really good. The Hooded Blightfang might be something that we could talk about, right? Not a huge devotion stack, but it's going to gain us life and do chip damage because we have so many creatures with Death Touch. And now that's one of the great things, you guys, is you can mix and match and make these decks your own, right? Based on what you have. Midnight Reaper helps us with a draw. We also have our Hunted Nightmare, which has Menace 4/5. It's just incredible. You know, Nightmare Shepherd can have the Merchant re-trigger, plus it's good devotion. If you're looking for more removal, Extinction Event is my favorite. So there are, and Murderous Rider, right? Also further removal. There's so many great ways to upgrade this deck. It's not even funny. We talked about Rankle. We talked about Spawn of Mayhem, right? It's just, you could take it in any direction you want. You could potentially even go Bolas Citadel, but I doubt we're going to get to that many land. Regardless, those are some of my favorite picks. Potentially Reggie if you were brave. Potentially Vito if you were brave as well, right? Because then Grey Merchant has to do a lot less work when he enters. Priest of the Forgotten Gods. Absolutely. This card is the most annoying black card in the world, at least to me. Blacklands Paragon. Again, there's so many good cards you can add to this deck to upgrade it. It is not even funny. And I know you guys are interested and are always asking, well, what cards do I take out to add those? Well, like look at our mana curve, right? We have a decreasing curve from 1 all the way down to 5. So we want to have lots of 1 drops, lots of 2 drops, lots of 3 drops, a few 4 drops, and a few 5 drops, right? Try to stick that in there. Don't be throwing 8 and 9 drops into the deck. But again, there's nothing wrong with adding a few 4 drops and just kind of balancing it, right? It really is up to you how you take this deck. Personally, you need to make the call based on what you want to play. Do you like Knight of the Ebon Legion? Do you think trimming Call of the Death Dweller and our Archfiend Vessel is worth putting in Knight of the Ebon Legion and you know, maybe some other 3 drops to get around there? So balance accordingly. Remember the strategies that we talked about, right? If you do take out your Vessel, I recommend you take out the Dweller with it. You could potentially take out your Foulmire Knight. However, the draw is quite nice. Tymaret could be trimmed down to 2. That frees up a card potentially. Maybe you don't like Drag to the Underworld so much. You're looking for something else. So it really all depends upon your playstyle and how you want to pilot and operate the deck. Because like, though I have been doing this a long time, I'm not the absolute final authority. And we do live in a world where we create things based on our own beliefs. So if you believe something is good, it will perform well for you. That's just how it works. It's like a hall of mirrors or something. And if you don't like something in the deck and you believe it will perform poorly, chances are it will perform poorly for you. So really take my list as a base guide and adjust them to your preference so you're really in love with the list, you really like it, you're in tune, you're believing in the heart of the cards, etc., right? So that was the deck tech. I hope you've got a good grasp on mono black. Oh, this is the final thoughts. We got way in depth with that. Woof. That was our upgrade guide, I guess. Anywho, I hope you've been really enjoying the free-to-play rotation-proof content. We've got a lot of videos, and there are a lot of work to put together and to compete within Mythic and Diamond. So I hope you enjoy, and I hope this really helps with your Magic the Gathering Arena play experience, right? A lot of these decks, top tier, are expensive, and people while out with them all the time, which is fine. You're gonna get there too one day. You just need to farm your wild cards a little bit. So hold on, subscribe to the channel, play my 0 rare, 0 mythic free-to-play decks, join the Discord, stack those mythic and rares, win yourself some gems with our giveaway to expand your collection. There's just so many ways to win here. Thank you for your time and attention, everybody on the Twitch, Patreon, and YouTube financial support teams, whatever you want to call them, making this all a reality for you guys. Thank you so much. You're incredible. Merci. Oui. Take care, you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. More importantly than everything I've babbled on about today, go have yourselves a good day, right? Take care. Accomplish your goals. Get some sun. Show those smiles.
Nice.